This news update is presented by Concrete Science of Florida, online at concretesciencefl.com.
Wink Weather Authority.
For tonight, a few passing clouds, but overall pretty pleasant. Wake-up temperatures Tuesday morning in the 60s, but because of our dry air, we are back up near 90. Good amount of sunshine by the afternoon, lower humidity hanging around, and then eventually by late in the week and towards the weekend, a chance of spotty rain and storms with high temperatures with an increase in humidity in the mid to upper 80s. With Wink News, I'm Chief Meteorologist Matt Devitt, the Weather Authority.
It's Rockstar Harley's Triple Zero event. Zero cash down, zero interest, and zero payments until after summer on any new Harley this week only. Rockstar Harley has the largest Harley inventory in South Florida with over 300 bikes in stock. Rockstar Harley has secured financing terms that can save you thousands on interest. No cash down, no payments, no interest until fall. Annual percentage rates such as 1.99% and no payments until September on any new Harley at Rockstar Harley's Triple Zero event. Now through Sunday. No payments for 120 days, no interest for 90 days with approved credit.
What makes Genesis of Naples the #1 selling Genesis dealer in the nation? It's our incredible selection and professional sales staff. Hi, I'm Sheila Zellers, owner of Genesis of Naples. When I drive my beautiful new 2021 Genesis GV80 around town, the first thing everyone says to me is, "What is that beautiful SUV?" I tell them it's the all-new first ever SUV from Genesis. Then they usually ask, "How much does it cost?" I know it's hard to believe, but it starts at just $49,500 and the fully equipped Prestige for just over $70,000. It has an amazing interior and breathtaking design and your choice of turbo engines in rear and all-wheel drive. But that's not all. New 2021 Genesis G70s have 0% financing and 72 months plus $1,000 cash back. And we have a huge selection of the all-new 2021 Genesis G80s and G90s. Come visit Genesis of Naples on Airport Road or genesisofnaples.com.
All offers with approved credit on select models. Based on January 2021 retail sales. 72 months of $0 per month per 1,000 finance. No down payment required.
What's up, Southwest Florida? It's your friend Tyler McCluskey here, and I'm reminding you about our new show that airs every Saturday at 11 a.m. right here on 92.5 Fox News. Every week, I give you all the information you need to know about your health insurance needs. We also promote local real estate, entertainment, and have a guest host each week. Be sure to tune in live every Saturday at 11 a.m. or download our show on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. For more information or a health insurance quote, visit TylerMcCluskey.com.
Join us this Saturday at 11 a.m. for the Tyler McCluskey Show, right here on 92.5 Fox News.
This is 92.5 Fox News. This is The Drive with Trey Ray.
5:05 here on 92.5 Fox News. Trey Radel, your host of The Drive. We are going to get a new congressional seat here in the state of Florida. That's because our population continues to boom. I thought we'd get two, but it shakes out that we will only be getting one. Texas is the only state to get 2 seats. So you got quite a few who will gain here. Colorado, Montana, North Carolina, Oregon, us here in Florida. All of the states I've just named, we all get 1 seat, and Texas will get 2 seats. Now, interestingly enough, who is losing seats? I'll get that in just a second. Phone number is 239-479-5592. Let me talk here locally. For those of you who are streaming us, maybe you've never even joined in. It's actually at the very beginning of the shows where I find that people have no idea who the hell we are or what's going on, tend to stream us. So we are in the southwestern part of the state of Florida, known as Southwest Florida. Naples, Fort Myers area, if you're familiar with those. Some of the other places, Sanibel, Marco Island, and more. If we end up getting the new congressional seat here in Southwest Florida, I believe that it would be that you'd see Lee County and Collier County end up with their own. Now, I don't mean just counties, because if you're even remotely familiar with districts, oftentimes they are gerrymandered. They have these weird shapes and stuff. A great example of that is someone who in fact, represents part of Collier County right now. That's Mario Diaz-Balart. He's actually based over on the east coast of Florida, what's called South Florida. That is, South Florida is generally West Palm all the way south to the Keys. That's what's referred to as South Florida, again, generally speaking. Southwest Florida, generally speaking, Sarasota to Marco Island. So Mario Diaz-Balart's district is one of those that just stretches. It stretches across the Everglades, where there's nobody to represent, and then it takes up the large swaths of the eastern portions of Collier County, whereas Congressional District 19, currently represented by Byron Donalds, that's Lee County, and then it thins out as it moves south into Collier County. Again, very roughly speaking, but what is it? It's like south from the coast to 75, and then it just moves on down to Marco Island. And you could see, I thought that we'd get 2 seats here in Florida. And I thought actually Southwest Florida would get a new one in the mix, and I'll get to how that could be divided up. And Central Florida, I thought undoubtedly was going to get it. But in what I've read in the latest, because Central Florida tends to be a larger news market, they've got people who are literally poring over statistics right now. In just a little that I've read on Twitter and a little microblog, is that Central Florida's not going to get the district. So I think it just leaves us, Southwest Florida and South Florida. I know that the population on the East Coast has boomed like everywhere in Florida, but here in Southwest Florida, I mean, it's insane. The way that the amount and the rate that people are moving here to Lee and Collier counties in particular. Charlotte also has increased in population as well. But really, Lee and Collier have been absolutely booming. Can you remember a year that a school was not being built? I've been here 20 years, and I don't know one.
Multiple schools.
Yep. Oh, I don't hear you that well. Yeah, I mean, multiple schools.
Multiple schools every year.
Every year from, elementary, middle, high, and Collier and Lee, there is always multiple schools being built in both counties. Again, I understand that South Florida, too, has boomed, and undoubtedly a lot of people, too, who have come from Latin America. I mean, hell, think about all of the people escaping Venezuela in general, but other parts of Latin America as well, and have come and sought their actual citizenship. This is not just, immigrants who come here and are like, I'm going to go home. These people who want to be here and want to be American. And in fact, when you look at the generational Cuban Americans or newer arrivals that became citizens from Venezuela, they're the people who won Florida for Donald Trump. I mean, I get it. Everybody plays a part, but that was an area that not a lot of people saw as the significant vote turnout for Donald Trump in that part of South Florida. So to go back to kind of where this seat goes, I'm kind of thinking that maybe Mario Diaz-Balart will end up returning to the East Coast and not represent a portion of Collier County. And I'm just thinking out loud here. And look, I'm starting with this because this is breaking news. I know it's not the sexiest, most intense thing, like the cop that the Michigan State lawmaker who gets arrested for a DUI that we're going to play, who says, I run y'all's budget. We'll get to all that. We're going to have some fun and some insanity like every show in a little bit. But to start with this, if there are any political nerds out there, where do you think the congressional seat goes? I'm kind of thinking that you've got Lee and maybe portions of Charlotte, and Collier ends up getting its own. Maybe there's a part of Collier that stretches over to I call it the East Coast, but really what we're talking about is very inland South Florida. The first place that you hit, in fact, when you cross the alley it's called Weston. And interestingly enough, what I'm about to say is not a derogatory term at all. It's called Westonzuela. And that's because there is an enormous amount of Venezuelans that have moved there. It's currently represented by Debbie Wasserman Schultz. again, look, some of this I'm just spitballing while I'm right now thinking about this, because we only got these numbers from the Census Bureau just a little bit ago. I wonder if Wasserman Schultz is starting to feel threatened by the amount of conservatives that are starting to sort of really take hold in that area. Because, it's very different from here. Like, we in Southwest Florida, the demographic is overwhelmingly white, don't get me wrong. As you hear on this program, one thing I love is the amount of people who are from Venezuela, Colombia, and Cuba that call this station. And I'm just being frank here, you can tell that English is not their first language. Do you know what kind of, to use a little Spanish, cojones you have to call a radio station and sound off when English is your second language? I love that. I think it's awesome. And they're overwhelmingly conservative. I wonder if Wasserman Schultz ends up saying, like her district is just off the top of my head. It's crazy. It stretches, totally gerrymandered. I should talk about that in a second, too, to tell you why they do that. But it's Weston that is, you cross the alley. And Weston, it's a really beautiful place. Very, very sort of new Florida-ish, gated communities, this and that. Golf courses all over. But her area then stretches over to, like, my gosh, it goes all the way over to the coast. And you've got... in fact, I think it actually stretches into part of Dade County. And so I wonder if, because there's no question that a lot of these lawmakers will have input. They try to push their fellow state lawmakers. Remember, she's federal, state lawmakers, state Democrats, to try and lean on Republicans who are going to be divvying up these new congressional districts. I wonder if she's like, I kind of want to get out of the newer-ish, conservative-ish area here, and maybe that goes to Collier, and Collier actually gets a chunk of Broward. It would be a small chunk, but again, if Republicans did it right, they see the Republicans are going to kind of go under this guise of, hey, we're just here and looking to make everything fair. They always do that. I'll get to gerrymandering in a second. But, we think that we'll take part of this constituency in Broward, and it'll be conservative. So time will tell on that, and we'll see. I mean, I do wonder if Lee and Collier end up splitting in some way with those counties. Again, they may take other areas around them, Lee maybe into Charlotte, Henry, et cetera. Collier potentially a slice of Broward, but then you get into, well, who runs for what? So again, CD 19, our current congressional district, is represented by Byron Donalds. There's no doubt in my mind that Byron would stay in Collier County. It's been his stronghold for a long time. And then you'd have a new race in Lee County. And so who would run for county commission in Lee County? And I'll tell you names right now that I know poll. Two names I know that poll well are Cecil Pendergrast and Dane Eagle. Dane, who ran for Congress this last time, only beat by a few hundred votes by Byron Donalds because of that stronghold in Cape Coral. Cecil Pendergrast polls pretty darn high for county commissioner. See, it's funny, like, how many of you can just name a county commissioner? And one of the things we used to do when we used to do the trivia, what the heck? I'm having a brain fart. College of Political Knowledge.
Yes, there you
go. When we used to do that, we would start with easy questions. Name this member of Congress. Give me one member of Congress over on the east coast of Florida. Boom. Wasserman Schultz, Diaz-Balart, whoever is the flavor of the day, the lightning rod of the day. But then you start asking locally, name one state representative in anywhere in Collier Lee. Nobody can name them. County commissioners, same way. A lot of the county commissioners think that they've got like this enormous name ID, which you have to have. That's why you raise money. You're a product. You need to get your name out there. Vote for me, vote for me. But county commissioners and state representatives have very, very little name ID. They're starting from oftentimes single digits. Nobody knows you. Nobody knows them. And that's a factor. But again, in just the polling I've seen over the years, fairly recently, I do know that Cecil sticks out as one of the county commissioners with name ID. Other than that, I don't know. I mean, this is just off the top of my head. I've never seen polling on Bert Saunders. He's on Collier County Commission now. He was a state rep years ago, but I mean, it's so transient. And honestly, the demographic being older, people die. Moving on. But who else in Lee? Who else in Lee County? I mean, the sheriff could always run. Carmine Marcino could always run for Congress. Brian Hammond is someone that sticks out on the Lee County Commission. And then you got members of city council, but I think Ray Rodriguez, Ray's a state senator right now. What are you saying over there? He's whispering. He's saying things that he doesn't want the public to hear. Ian is. That's why I don't have the camera on him right now. But Lee County could have its own seat. So there's me nerding out for a minute here on something that is fairly breaking news in the last few hours. Again, the U.S. Census Bureau coming out with the numbers. Texas gaining 2 seats. All right, so in Florida, 1, Colorado, Montana, North Carolina, Oregon. Here's who lost them. And what do they overwhelmingly have in common? By the way, pop quiz, I bet that there are some people that can name some states that lost them. Either one of you want to give it a try? Who lost seats?
No, I'm good.
No. Okay, well, I'm going to say California and New York.
Yes, California for the first time since ever.
Oh, wow.
Ever.
For the first time ever, they're losing more than they're gaining.
For the first time ever, California just lost a congressional district.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
California, Illinois, Michigan, New York, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and West Virginia all losing. California, Illinois, Michigan, New York, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Ohio, a bit of an anomaly here and there. Ohio does have Republican leadership now, but it's flirted with Democratic policies, and Republicans there are, think John Kasich. That's all I got to say about that. Former governor there. They're still, the tax rates are not that easy to digest. Pennsylvania has more and more been dominated by Democrats and liberal policies. Michigan, same thing. Same exact thing. Same type of position, by the way, as Ohio and Pennsylvania, those 3 Midwest seats. West Virginia is just in terrible shape, period. Horrible economy, terrible, just decimated by trade, this and that. I'll leave that out. But New York and California and Illinois. Illinois is one of those states that is dominated, statewide, by Chicago. And I'll tell you what scares the hell out of me. It's kind of the way Georgia's becoming with Atlanta. Atlanta dominates the entire state, and therefore you start seeing things like 2 Democratic senators elected. Granted, it was a special election. We'll see what happens. But Chicago dominates Illinois politics. And that's why it has been an insanely high-tax state and why people are fleeing from it. New York and California, I don't need to preach to you about. Crazy story that goes with New York. So California, under Gavin Newsom's leadership, losing a congressional seat because they're losing people. People are fleeing the frickin' state, moving, by the way, to Oregon, Texas, and others. New York, minutes before we got on air, I just read an article that they lost out on a seat by 89 people. Think about that. They've been losing people. It's still a populated area. By the way, the order of population in this country today, some of you may not know this. It goes California, Texas, and then us, Florida. We're the 3rd most populous state in the country. It was New York forever, but then Texas comes up, Florida comes up, and New York ends up losing now a congressional seat. By the way, they became the 4th most populous back in 2015. New York lost that seat by 89 people. And, it's like if Cuomo just did not kill as many grandmas and grandpas, maybe they'd still have a seat. We're going to take a break. Phone lines open, 239-479-5592. Cuomo. I'm being dead serious in a very dark way. He literally sent people to their deaths The number is still incalculable. And you could make an argument that if he didn't do that, as all of this is being done, now granted, I don't know how much counting was being done in the last year with pandemic anyway, but they lost a hell of a lot of people. And of course, a lot of them are just moving here because they want to escape high tax, liberal, insane policies. Anybody listening from New York right now, California right now, moving here to Florida, please, we welcome you. Just leave your liberal policies and vote at home. We'll be right back. This is The Drive.
This is 92.5 Fox News.
I received a call the other day from a woman. Her husband tragically was unable to call himself, but he had told her, if anything ever happens to me, call Morgan & Morgan. And what higher honor could we receive than protecting someone's family after they're gone? Life can be shattered in a moment. When that happens, know that America's largest injury law firm is here for you. When it comes to law, size matters. We're America's largest injury law firm, Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
The button, a symbol of things made easier. Before buttons, things were much harder, like pull starting an outboard motor.
Come on, you. Come on, you. Come on. Okay, this time you're gonna start. Come on.
Or manually opening a garage door.
Oh no, my back.
Or even treating sleep apnea. If you've tried CPAP but struggle to get a good night's sleep, relief can be as easy as a button with Inspire.
Inspire is a sleep apnea treatment that works inside your body with just the click of a remote. That's right, a button. As you sleep, Inspire keeps you breathing normally and sleeping peacefully. No mask, no hose, just sleep. To learn more, visit inspiresleep.com. That's inspiresleep.com. Inspire, sleep apnea innovation. Inspire is not for everyone. Talk to your doctor to see if it's right for you and review important safety information at inspiresleep.com.
These grapes are great. Hey, grocery guy, are these fresh?
You should know. You've eaten enough of them.
I always sample the grapes.
You've practically eaten a whole bag, sir.
So what are you going to do about it, grocery guy?
Watch your head while getting in the squad car, sir.
Well, officer, I thought the grapes were free.
At Rock Solid, your sink is free, along with free bathroom countertop materials. Just pay for installation when you get kitchen countertops.
Grapes aren't free, but bathroom countertop materials are at Rock Solid.
JNC Boulevard, Naples, rocksolidnaples.com or 596-7676. Rock Solid, where you always get more.
Sometimes in business, the unexpected comes calling. From rent increases, to increased orders, to, I'm gonna say it, unprecedented times. But don't bounce back. Bounce forward with Comcast Business. Bounce forward with fast, reliable internet on the network that can deliver gig speeds to the most businesses and gives you the flexibility to update your bandwidth in just a few clicks. Be fast, be flexible, be ready for what's next, and bounce forward with Comcast Business. Help your business bounce forward with this amazing offer. Get started with a powerful and reliable internet and voice solution from Comcast Business, starting at just $35 each a month for 24 months for 2 years when you buy both. Call 1-800-501-6000 or go to ComcastBusiness.com today to find out more. Restrictions apply. Limited to new Comcast Business 35 megabits per second internet and one voice mobility customers. Early termination fee applies. Enrollment in EcoBill and AutoPay required. Call for details.
Trey Rables is on 92.5 Fox News.
.525 here on 92.5 Fox News. Trey Riddle, your host of The Drive here. Quick segment here before we get to a few crazy subjects, including space debris falling from the sky and how you could be held criminally responsible for it, as well as law enforcement leaving, retiring all over the country. Let's take a listen to this here. Ian, if we could extend for 1 second. I wanted to share this with you. There is a story that would be hilarious if it wasn't so sad, that is written like it is out of some form of a House of Cards show, a movie. Right now, I don't need to tell you, if you're listening to this station, you're engaged in the news, and you know the horrific things that are happening at the border right now. We have played over and over the terrible, horrible, heartbreaking sound and video caught on camera of that young boy who was lost in the desert. He was abandoned by the coyotes, the people hired to bring him from Central America to the U.S. border. This is happening all over Mexico. And having traveled extensively through Mexico, having worked as a journalist for most of my professional career, I'm telling you now that, and I'm sorry to go very dark here, but there are countless dead women and children that are strewn from Guatemala through Chiapas, Oaxaca, through the Sonoran Desert, all the way up to the border, as coyotes attempt to take these poor, suffering people from Central America to the United States because the Biden administration has incentivized them to do so. I should even say the Biden campaign, Democrats in general, have essentially been saying to Central Americans, just get here. That's all you got to do, and you'll be fine. And it's the truth. That's the craziest part. The way that Biden ended up shifting from Donald Trump with policy goes back to these old ways of all you have to do is get to a legal port of entry and say, I'm here seeking asylum, and that's it. You're in the country. They've become so overwhelmed at our southern border that they don't even make appointments with migrants on days that they can go to a court and have their case heard in the judicial system. They literally just release them into the interior of the country and say, hey, here's a name and number. Please call us and contact us when you want to get processed. It's insane. Of course they're never going to call. Even the people that had appointments to come back and go through the system to seek asylum, 90% never came back either. Want to hear another crazy little thing? There are so many amassing at the border that they're being flown to other cities. I think Atlanta was one. California had a few cities. And some had not even been tested for COVID, and they don't even have IDs. You cannot board a plane in the United States anywhere, I mean, my God, in the world, if you don't have an ID, unless you're illegal in the country. Maddening. So these women and children, they make this horrific trek through Mexico, risking life-threatening situations and death. When they get to the border, and they're brought to various communities in California. And in California, I want you to know, if you make it, and you're under the age of about 14 years old, you get a little care package, just like showing up at the Oscars. Do you know they get a swag bag, right? They seriously get a swag bag at the Oscars that are worth like $100,000. You get to go jet away to the 5-star hotel in Cabo San Lucas. That's right. It's a reverse migration. You get to go jet over to the Swiss Alps to go skiing for a weekend. You get passes everywhere. Why? Because you're already loaded and you're a celebrity. You're going to spend more money on our stuff. So when you come to the United States, you get a swag bag too. And do you know what's in that bag? Some basics that I think are great. Toothpaste, toothbrush, things to help the kids. Great. Okay, cool. But you also get the latest copy of Kamala Harris's book, written for children. Superheroes Are Everywhere. No joke. Take a listen to Fox News' Peter Ducey here, asking about getting this book here.
Last couple days in the New York Post that every migrant child being brought to a shelter is being given a copy of her children's book, Superheroes Are Everywhere. Do you know why that is and if she's making any money off of that?
Of the president, of the vice president?
President's book, yeah.
I'd have to check with our Health and Human Services team if you're talking about if they go to shelters or if they go to...
Yeah, in the welcome kit, apparently, there's a copy of her 2019 children's book, Superheroes Are Everywhere.
I'd have to certainly check on that. Here, it's a good book.
I hear it's a good book. God, I'm sorry, but Jen Psaki is not good at her job. She sounds so condescending, so patronizing. And by the way, let me just rephrase what she said at the very end of that. I'm going to circle back, which is literally all she's done over and over and over. The comments coming in. We've got some texts coming in, some too dark, actually, to read. which is why I love our text line. This person, Orgus Toliandosis, which I have to, whenever I say that name, I have to read it like that because it's such a badass name. Orgus Toliandosis says, incentivize, give me a friggin' break. Orgus Toliandosis, you are more than welcome to call in 239-479-5592. Phone number's on the screen that you're streaming us from.
Can I just say that when she was talking there, she said vice president.
Oh, yeah.
They all make that slip for some reason.
They're just
some
prepping.
odd
just
reason.
Preparing.
Yeah.
Just preparing. Just feeding fuel to the fire.
I'm sorry, I was just circling back.
Circling back on that. So what Ducey's asking, though, is a legitimate question. When you are in Congress, you can write a book, and some people have made serious money. Marco Rubio made a nice chunk of change from his book. He got an advance on his book for, I don't know, maybe $100,000, $200,000, $300,000. When you get up there, when you're like a Cory Booker, man, dude made like $1 million off of his book. Kamala Harris has sold tons of books as well. And I believe the biggest breadwinner on books, I believe, is Elizabeth Warren, like $2 million in just book. So whoever is purchasing these books, the royalties are going to Kamala Harris. Let me be clear about that. The Biden administration, contrary to what Orgus Toliandosis is saying, is absolutely incentivizing and has been. The Democratic Party has undoubtedly been incentivizing people to come to this country for years and years and years. And in fact, if they're not, why are they all there right now? Why do you think that 100,000, it's like 138,000 came just last month? Just last month, wearing Biden T-shirts. Of that 138-some thousand, 20,000 children abandoned by their parents, left out, hey, go, just get there. I mean, that's insane and heartbreaking and is a friggin' humanitarian crisis. So when they go through this humanitarian crisis, they get to go to see Kamala Harris and they get her book. I don't know if it's an autograph or not, but she's getting royalties from that. You're telling me that there's not some serious ethical issue with that? Humanitarian crisis that Kamala Harris is, in fact, profiting off of. Phone number is 239-479-5592. 239-479-5592. I'm Trey Radel. This is The Drive. We'll be right back.
This is 92.5 Fox News.
This news update is presented by Island Air. High-quality AC repair and installation. Online at islandairefl.com.
Wink Weather Authority.
For tonight, a few passing clouds, but overall pretty pleasant. Wake-up temperatures Tuesday morning in the 60s, but because of our dry air, we are back up near 90. Good amount of sunshine by the afternoon, lower humidity hanging around, and then eventually by late in the week and towards the weekend, a chance of spotty rain and storms with high temperatures with an increase in humidity in the mid to upper 80s. With Wink News, I'm Chief Meteorologist Matt Devitt, the Weather Authority.
This is 92.5 Fox News.
It's a hot afternoon, and you're listening to the news. And now, you're hot under the collar, too. I'm Matt from Island Air. When you choose an AC contractor, you're entrusting that company with the air that you and your family breathe. A healthy unit means a healthier household. Island Air has a long history in Southwest Florida and hundreds of customer reviews that you can see on our website at islandairfl.com, where you will see the Island Air difference. Want to try us out? Our $99 System Saver one-time maintenance is guaranteed. If your AC breaks within 6 months of the maintenance, we will credit the payment towards any repair. Island Air also offers free second opinions. Let us review your quote for any service, replacement, or repair for your peace of mind.
IslandAirFL.com. That's IslandAirefL.com. IslandAirefL.com or call 239-645-4668. That's 239-645-4668. License number CAC 057544.
This is Greg, owner of Tropical Generator. And when I started my generator business 17 years ago, I made it a priority to focus on reliability. Generators are a lot like fire extinguishers. Hopefully, you never have to use it. But when you do, it better perform flawlessly. There are a lot of competitors out there whose only goal is to separate you from your money. Whether the generator actually performs in an emergency, well, that's not really a concern. Instead of taking a big risk on a cheap fire extinguisher, call Tropical Generator today for a reliable generator system. I offer you 17 years of experience doing expert generator installations, a 4-year degree in electrical engineering, and the highest level Florida licenses in electrical and gas contracting. I also live in Fort Myers and have personally selected and trained every one of our employees. At Tropical Generator, we're big enough to help and small enough to care. Call today, 239-206-4509 or tropicalgenerator.com. That's 239-206-4509 or on the web at tropicalgenerator.com. License EC 13007873.
After a car accident, you can feel like you've lost control. I'm Glenn Levine from the law offices of Anajar and Levine. Our team can help you understand your legal options after an accident. We will file your claim and fight for the full compensation you deserve. If you've been involved in a car accident, call the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733 for a free consultation. And take back control of your life.
Offices Fort Myers and Naples.
Life is a marathon, not a sprint. Unless you're hiring. Fortunately, Indeed has great tools to help speed up the hiring process. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
I'm Harvey Massey. At Massey Services, we know every lawn is unique and requires customized care. That's why our environmental approach includes aeration, which allows water and nutrients to reach the roots of your lawn, as well as an irrigation program which ensures proper coverage and reduces water waste. With Massey's Green Up program, you'll enjoy a healthy and a beautiful lawn year-round. That's Massey Services. Expect more and get it.
Trey Radel is on 92.5 Fox News.
Stop resisting. Stop. Stop resisting. Now better get it. I'm telling you, if you do that, that's not going to be good. Stop. It's not going to be good for you. I'm telling you. Stop. No, I run y'all budget, bro.
I run your budget. I run y'all's budget, bro. Oh, boy. This is a case of what you just heard here is Michigan State Representative Jewel Jones in Inkster, Michigan, was pulled over by police. His pants were down. He was driving the car with some woman in it.
It happens.
And hey, I got no problem with that.
It happens. It's an accident.
But drinking and driving, you put everybody. I mean, actually, probably
that's a problem.
If somebody's performing fellatio while driving, that's probably a danger as well. Let me move on from that and say that if drinking and driving, it has very serious consequences, not a joking matter. I don't suppose either is if you're putting anyone in danger on the road with you. So he's doing his thing while driving. He gets pulled over by Michigan law enforcement. Sorry. And he gets pulled over to what you... I can't tell you what they're writing me. So, God, this is terrible radio, right? Like, we're having a conversation that you're not letting our audience in. Stop doing this.
It's hilarious watching you get through this. That's fun.
So the Michigan lawmaker gets pulled over, and he gets brought up on all sorts of stuff, obstruction, weapons. I don't know what he was doing, but it ends up with the arrest of him. And what you just heard was him resisting. Let's just play this again here. Here's how it goes.
Stop resisting. Stop. Stop resisting. Now better get it. I'm telling you, if you do that, that's not going to be good. Stop. It's not going to be good for you. I'm telling you. Stop. No, I run y'all budget, bro.
I love that line. I think that's hilarious at the end. He said that he was going to call Gretchen. That's the Governor Whitmer out of Michigan. This is a Democrat, a state lawmaker, who's resisting arrest, which we'll get to the serious points of that in a second. But he did have his pants up as he was resisting and fighting with the cops, because I don't know if they wanted to tangle with the dude with his pants down, although it'd be a heck of a lot easier.
If you're going to fight the cops, pull your pants up first.
Yeah.
So there was at least one good decision in
But
there.
if your pants are down, I mean, you're really vulnerable if your pants are dropped.
Yeah, well, because running becomes difficult.
Very, very difficult. That's why in reflecting on certain fashions and trends, one of the things, and this transcends white, black, Hispanic, is wearing your pants like below your butt crack, where your boxers are showing. And like you see dudes walking where they will have one hand constantly holding up their pants. Now this style, by the way, has gone out maybe in the last few years, but I've never understood that style at all. Like, what if you do have to run? I mean, and when you're doing that, again, white, black, brown, whatever, you're signifying something. When you wear certain types of, anytime you wear certain types of clothes, hats, garments, whatever, you are saying something. I mean, why do you, let's talk about even like, why do you wear something specific into an interview, right? You wear a suit if you're going on a professional job interview, but you even walk a fine line there. Like if you put a little pocket square in, look, some people kind of look at that as like, you're a little too highfalutin. You little fancy pocket square thing, or you're it's super fitted. Like I'm just telling you, as somebody who has gone into things like personal branding and perceptions of what people are wearing, like you go in with your little fancy pocket square all matched up, and some people might be turned off by that. You want to wear your best suit, but you don't want to go too far. Or on certain jobs, you don't want to wear a suit. If you show up wearing a suit, you're going to look like an idiot. Like what are you trying to do?
Can I honestly say right now, no one wears a suit anymore to job interviews. And right now, if I go to a job interview, I'll wear a suit because it actually makes a big statement right now. Unless you're going to be a plumber or something, then you might want to dress it down a little bit.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you're going for any job where you would normally dress in slacks for anyway, I tell you, the suits like mailing a letter. It's taken that extra step that people just don't do anymore.
Yep, I agree. But I mean, even in the state of Florida here, well, at least Southwest Florida, the only industry I've worked in, and this includes all of my consulting or whatever, like the only two places where people wear suits is in politics and TV news. And God, it's why I will never wear a suit again. I'm like right now wearing a ball cap T-shirt and jeans. This is my uniform every day.
I can't believe I'm going to say this on the air, but I walked in this building 9.5 years ago and in a suit. And she said, "What job are you applying for?" I said, "Yes."
Ha! Nice.
And they called down some people and they hired me. And I asked later, "Why did you guys hire me that day for that weekend job?" And they said, "You're the only person that showed up for a job in a long time in a suit."
Oh, wow.
And I literally got me the job here.
There you go. Good advice from Ian for any of you applying for jobs. So back to the guy with his junk out. I don't know how he strayed, but...
Oh, we're back to that. Okay.
Yeah. So a state lawmaker in Michigan, this is what we're talking about here, people, is the guy here, the Democrat state representative, who's resisting.
I'm telling you, dude.
And the hilarious part is that he says, "I run y'all's budget." And it's true. He's a lawmaker in the state of Michigan. And he also says he's going to call the governor and get them in trouble. Like, the moment that you start busting out that type of crap, I'm going to say that 100% of law enforcement is now like, F you, buddy. Now you're definitely done. Just think about what do you think works better? Being polite, and I say compliant. I don't mean that in the, sort of type B personality way, submit. Just talking about make sure that the officer feels safe when he or she approaches your car. Simple things like that. again, we'll get to resisting. But do you think when PD or a deputy from SO rolls up and you're like, yeah, bro, you know who I am? That doesn't work. It's the worst thing that you can do. But then again, it kind of shows it's a glimpse of the mentality of I think people that ascend to those types of positions.
It also happens when there's an adrenaline dump, there's a fear response, there's a psychology going on here too. You got a man that's been caught with his pants down, and in this case, his pants were literally down, and literally he gets caught by the cops. They walk up, they startle him. And there's an adrenaline dump, and there's a psychology. Here's what I'm trying to say. He's freaking out. Oh, my God, I got to say something. I'm calling Gretchen.
Call Gretchen. Go ahead, give her a call.
First name basis, by the way.
I had to give him a phone. Go ahead, give her a shout. What's she have to say?
Yeah, you need your phone once we get you in cuffs here.
So I will say that one of the common themes that we see with people who end up suspects that end up being shot and killed, tased, and put down, there is always a common theme, and it's resisting arrest. Someone resisting arrest and getting shot or killed or with a knee on their neck, it does not justify the killing of someone who didn't deserve it. But that's where things have become so screwed up in the perception of all of this. Let me ask you a question here. Do you think that now more than ever, people feel freer more than ever to resist? To resist no matter what the hell they've done? My answer is abso-friggin-lutely. And take a look at the way that still today, the shooting and killing of a suspect who was about to murder a young black girl has played out. It's not about the victim, the potential victim who was about to be murdered. It's that law enforcement shot and killed a young black girl. And it's just left at that. When we come back, a little ridiculousness from the Oscars, but a look at what's happening nationwide with law enforcement. Why would you even want to join the police department or sheriff's office? Maybe here in Southwest Florida, it's a different story. I do think, kind of even to go back to what we started with, though, as our population is booming and booming and booming, crime changes. There's no question about that. I remember when I first moved here and I lived in Naples, at 9 o'clock, they rolled the sidewalks up. I was a reporter, and the biggest thing that I would cover, I'm kind of being a smart ass here, but I covered stories that were basically the equivalent of a cat in a tree. And it just ain't that way anymore. Phone number is 239-479-5592. 239-479-5592. I'm Trey Radel. This is The Drive. We'll be right back.
This is 92.5 Fox News.
All right, this is The Drive with Trey Radel on 92.5 Fox News. My name's Ian. I'm the producer of the show, and I'm here with Katrina on phones. You can hear us every day right here on 92.5 Fox News from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And you can hear us and also comment and visually watch us at the following locations: Facebook.com/official Trey Radel, Facebook.com/925 Fox News, YouTube.com/Trey Radel, Trey Radel on YouTube or on Twitter. And let's see, if you're local, when you get home from work and you go inside your house, if you've got an air antenna hooked up to your TV, we're on 11-5 and you can listen to us in digital clarity. You can also tune in on the TuneIn app and save us as your favorite. And every time you hit that button, we're right there on your smartphone, tablet, or computer. And, of course, you can listen to us on 92.5 on the radio. And you can send a text message or call now to 239-479-5592. 239-479-5592. We ask that you stay on topic Monday through Thursday, and Friday is open lines for anything you want to talk about. This is The Drive with Trey Radel on 92.5 Fox News. Don't go anywhere. We're back in 2 minutes.
Sumo or YouTube, or download the free Newsmax app on your phone and start watching. Newsmax is real news for real.
With PatriotSoftware.com, accounting and payroll, keep your time and money.
Mike Capel here, serial entrepreneur. We entrepreneurs are always improving our listening skills. My dad told me at age 29, Michael, you're a man now. You're about to be married. You have responsibilities. You'd be a fool to start your own business. I did what any loving son would do. I started 5 of them. I didn't listen to my dad, but I have learned to listen to my customers, which is why my 5th successful business, Patriot Software, created accounting software to help non-accountants like me keep accurate accounting records. Go to patriotsoftware.com. Use promo code XM and get 2 months of accounting software free. That's patriotsoftware.com.
PatriotSoftware.com, accounting and payroll, keep your time and money.
Want to make your home a more comfortable place but don't think you can afford a top brand heating and cooling system? Well, Carrier has the right solutions for every budget. When you turn to your Carrier expert, they'll show you our full lineup of best-in-class home comfort systems and help you pick the one that best fits into your home budget. Because in this economy, who couldn't use a little more comfort? Carrier. Turn to the experts.
Visit Accurate Comfort Services online at AccurateComfortServices.com today. License number CMC 057023.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Unless you want more of your hard-earned dollars going to the government, you need to pay attention to what I'm about to say. Now, the president's tax cuts, they may be on the way out, and it's not just your income taxes that could go up. That's why you should call my friend Alfie Townsend and his team at Advantage Retirement Group. Call now, 239-747-1163.
Investment advisory services offered through Townsend Advisory Group, LLC, a registered investment advisor in Florida.
Trey Rabel is on 92.5 Fox News.
It's 5:53 here on 92.5 Fox News. Trey Riddle, your host of The Drive. Here, let's get to some of your calls. What's up, Nick and the Kate? You're on The Drive.
Hey, Trey. I got 10 years of law enforcement experience. I don't do it anymore, but I'm surprised you don't know where the sagging trend came from. It actually came from the American prison system to let other inmates know people were available. I'm not kidding. Google it.
All right. Trends come in all sorts of shapes and sizes and ways in different places. I would actually go to the practicality of it, and meaning that it's not practical at all. Like, if you are, again, actually, let me go back to making a statement when you dress a certain way or have a tattoo. What I'm about to say is not a blanket statement. Does not apply to everybody, especially those of you with tattoos. I will say, if you have a tattoo on your forehead, you are clearly making a very big and bold statement. I mean, big and bold. And it can go to lesser things, like, why did you get a tattoo in circa 2000 and, I don't know, what was it, 2002, with the tribal on your bicep? Why did you get Mandarin writing on your back? There's got to be somebody listening right now that has that. And yes, I'm picking on you.
And you're still not sure exactly what it says.
No, it's a Confucius saying. No, it isn't.
Oh, yeah.
It says, I was 18 and stupid. It says, why the hell did I do this? Why am I now 50-something years old with friggin' Chinese lettering on my back? Or Japanese, whatever it may be. And if you do have that, you want to call and give me crap, you are more than welcome to. I'm just busting your chops.
One other observation, I just want to say that law enforcement over the years has appreciated the low pants style.
Yeah, because you can't run. That's what I was getting at.
Yeah, there's no way. I mean, a lot of these cops, to catch these guys is pretty difficult.
And have you ever
You're wearing all this equipment, you're jumping out of a car, you're 20 feet behind them. You've got everything against you. except the fact that their pants are about to fall down.
And they can't run.
Works
you've
every
seen
time.
try to bolt, or the pants actually just come right off and they flee. And in fact, actually, you just sparked a memory. I covered a story, and this is again like early to mid 2000s when I was a reporter here. It was in Golden Gate where somebody tried to take off, and their pants actually came right off. Just came right off, and the suspect kept running just in his boxers, his undies, and T-shirt, and they eventually caught him. And they left his pants on the driveway when we rolled up, and I know they did that on purpose. They absolutely did it on purpose. Collier County SO. They totally did.
That's good.
So, but again, statements are made. The saggy pants, like the practicality of that. How about if you get into a fist fight? I'm not saying
you can only punch with one hand because the other hand's got to hold your
up
pants.
the pants. Or if you are actually fighting and your pants stay up a little bit, they're going to go down. They are going to go down. But there are statements made like saggy pants don't always mean that, you're trying to flex and say, I'm a badass, I'm this or that. And again, it cuts. It is white, black, Hispanic. It's a trend that has been around for quite some time. Although, again, I think it is fading, and I'm old now, and it's old now. But I don't understand the practicality of it. We started this talk, by the way, when a Michigan State lawmaker was pulled over with his pants down in the car. He was also drinking, and he tried to tell the Michigan officers, the law enforcement officers there, that he was going to call the governor, and he said, I run y'all's budget. We started with this because there is a more serious discussion to be had that we'll get into about resisting arrest, how it's commonplace now, how people end up dying, but also some crazy statistics coming out across the United States about people who are leaving, about law enforcement leaving their posts, retiring early. Mike in Fort Myers. Hey, Mike, you're on the drive.
Hey, Trey. Just wanted to give you a little history lesson, and I know this because I'm a good friend with a buddy of mine who worked in corrections. The actual busting a sag, as we call it, the pants down around your butt crack, actually came out of the prison system. It is a sign, and a well-known sign in the prison community, that if your pants are down around your butt crack, that you are available, that you are a man, typically.
Yeah, sorry. I'm so sorry. I know people are in and out. We literally just had a call on that. I really appreciate it. Let me go to John. Hey, John.
Hey, Trey. I've got some interesting tattoos.
On your forehead?
I've got one on my butt.
On your butt?
Yeah, it's a giant kitty, and the crack forms part of the kitty's face.
Are the eyes above each cheek? I'm visualizing this, and I can't believe I'm doing it. Are you being dead serious? Are you being serious, dude? Or are you just messing with me?
No, I'm being dead serious, bro.
Tell me, what other tattoos do you have?
On the right arm in Mandarin, it says ass monkey. And on the left arm in Sanskrit, it says deliveries on Tuesday.
If you're serious about this, that's insane. And if you just made all that up on the fly, that's even better.
on my butt, I have a very poorly drawn Hello Kitty, and it's big enough to where the ass crack is like, the kitty's teeth.
Yes. Deliveries on Tuesdays. What is that about?
It's Robin Williams had a comedy sketch about getting drunk and getting tattoos that don't say what you think they say.
And so you had one done on each arm?
Yeah, I did exactly what Robin Williams in his comedy sketch.
I love that.
And what I just said right before, I didn't even know, right before getting into this, I said that what are these big, Mandarin symbols that, the essentially Chinese writing on your back. And I said what it stands for is I was 18 and drunk. Wow. So ass monkey is your right arm?
I'm the ass monkey who delivers on Tuesday.
Wait a second. But it's on there are two different arms?
Yeah. One's in Mandarin and the other's
Sanskrit.
in Sanskrit, ancient Hindu language.
Yes. And did the person putting the tats on you ask at all, or did you just give them the artwork?
No, I told him.
And are you still happy with your tattoos today? If you don't mind me asking, how old were you then?
Especially the one on the butt. It's very popular at pool parties.
Because it goes above the waistline? Like you're
it peeks out, yeah. Yeah, you can tell there's something going on.
So even if your ass crack just hangs out a little bit, a little plumber's crack going on, you can actually see more of the formation.
You can see the ears sticking up.
How old were you and how old are you now?
I'm probably 45. I probably got the ass cat maybe 5 years ago.
Well, you were. By the way, did you say I'm probably 45?
I try to block that out. Try not to think about it.
Dude, I know.
I'm 12 emotionally.
Hey, man, if you've listened to this for any amount of time, you know I have my moments.
Oh, yeah. I'm drinking vodka and the show is terrible.
Wait, is this John who does the pools?
Yeah.
Dude, you're the one who goes to Sanibel.
Yeah, I've also got the monkey on Family Guy?
Yes.
The angry, I've got that on my back.
How large is it?
It's large. It's really big.
Dude, you are a unique cat, man. No, I didn't even mean that. You're the one who caught us about the liberal in saying about all the good she does for the environment with their home in like Monte Carlo or something in France, or not Monte Carlo, but somewhere in southern France.
Yeah, she tells me her husband designed the pool on Captiva and that they have an identical pool at their villa in the south of France.
Votes Democrat,
and then
drives
she
a
starts
Prius.
talking about her. Yeah.
I drive a Prius, so that makes everything just fine.
But I've also been involved in bar fights, and I've been arrested in Cape Coral both times. And when the police showed up, I calmed right down.
That's a good point. So, dude, when's the last time you got into a bar fight?
I don't go to bars anymore.
Was it a drinking thing, or are you an angry dude?
Somebody started spending my money on the jukebox. So I slapped him, and apparently he had a lot of friends at the bar, and I didn't.
So you, dude, how long ago was this?
Probably about 10 years.
All right.
The barmaid said that I was swinging a broken bottle and a bar stool, and I said, nobody here gets out alive.
And you quoted Jim Morrison.
Yeah. And then I got tackled in the parking lot by a bunch of people. I bit a guy. He had to go to the hospital. But when the police showed up, I calmed right down.
5-1, baby. 1 in 5. No one here gets out alive. You get yours. I'll get mine. Those are the Doors here. 2 40-something-year-olds quoting Doors music and talking about bar fights. Last fist fight I was in was at college.
I still remember the first time I heard the Doors. It blew my little brain.
They're one of my favorites of all time. All right, John, we've got to get into the 6 o'clock hour here at some point.
Okay, I'll let you get back to serious stuff.
John, thank you. Always appreciate the entertaining calls. That dude's got some stories. I mean, he's got some stories. Let me look while I'm here. I got Moose. Moose is on the road. Moose, go ahead. You're wrapping up our segment here. What's up, Moose?
I don't know I follow that. I thought he was going to tell you he had on his butt cheeks 2 W's. He bent over, says, "Wow," when you flip them upside down, said, "Mom." but anyway,
how did this Monday show become like a Friday? I love it.
I don't know. They all got to the baggy pants thing. So all I was going to tell you is an ex-famous golfer, Lee Trevino. You remember him?
Yes.
Lee Trevino, he always played on I think it was his left forearm. He always had a Band-Aid there. He always played with a Band-Aid. It was to cover up a tattoo. He never wanted anybody to see it.
Oh, really? I did not know that. Well, did we ever learn what Lee Trevino's tat was?
That's my only tidbit. I don't have any tramp stamps or anything like that.
Moose, you have new tattoos?
I got a couple. You know, I got the one on the arm and one on the back.
And what is on your arm? What's on your back?
The one on my arm's kind of an Egyptian thing because I like the Eye of Horus, something like that or whatever. And the one on my back's kind of 2 moons. But my wife's got a couple. She's got a musical note, and then her and her sisters and her mom all have one as sisters. So some of them are really nice. I do think you need to be sober when you get them, though.
Moose, I appreciate it, my man.
All right, take care, man.
You
Keep
too,
it a
bud.
short grass.
What did he say? I didn't catch that last part. Yeah.
He's a golfer.
Yes, I got
that,
it.
yeah.
Even I, not much of a golfer at all, got that. We got to take a break.
Moose has been calling the show for a very long time. I just want to give a shout out
Moose,
to Moose. As he was calling the morning show when I started here years ago. So,
Yeah, there's a few long haulers that we
do.
get. And texters. The texters, too, are just all over it. I mean, I saw even Derek from California was texting today. Derek from California texts almost every single day. Phone number is 239-479-5592. 239-479-5592. Why? Here's a text. Can't call in. Why don't schools teach in driver's ed on what to do when you're stopped by police? Yeah, I mean, that's valid. I think that you have to understand that at times, not always, at times, law enforcement might be as nervous as you. Now, I know when I get pulled over, when I have keys in the ignition, I pull them out, I pop them on the top of my dash, and I put all my windows down, and let them know, like my hands on on the steering wheel, so they can see clearly where the hands are at. And I don't know. I just think it's a little ridiculous that some people are here. We even have somebody streaming us right now that's like, you shouldn't just submit. Well, what the hell? You're being pulled over for something. Look, I will talk all day and night about how I think that we are absolutely over-criminalized on the road, that you can get pulled over for anything. I mean, do you really need to come in contact with law enforcement for an expired tag? Seriously, do you need to be pulled over for that? Or, especially with technology today, can it be as simple as, boom, grabbing a picture of it and you just get mailed something?
That would be easier, but the purpose of pulling you over is not the tag. The purpose is to run your name and see if they can get a warrant or make sure everything's legal and all that kind of stuff.
And that is where I sometimes do break from law
Because I
enforcement.
think we need
Like,
everything we do, we need to look at the safety of what we're doing versus the safety of leaving it alone.
And by the way, part of this is the conversation that Democrats and Republicans have been having for a few years about police reform. It's not about defunding the police. It's just what I always say. Listen to this, so please, I beg you. If you're a liberal or conservative, you have to remember that law enforcement is only there enforcing the law. That's their name, law enforcement. They enforce the law. Who's making the laws? And it's the politicians. It's Democrats and Republicans who have been just writing law after law after law after law after law after law. Even this texting thing. By the way, I'd love to see the stats on that since that was introduced last year. Like texting, there are so many questions about that. How is a law enforcement officer supposed to judge whether or not you're texting? And by the way, what if you're in a browser? What if you're in email? And by the way, the law enforcement officer cannot even get into the phone without a warrant.
What they tell you they can do and what they can actually do.
I get that. Here's what I'm getting at, though. What I think one of the major reasons that we have so much contention between the public and law enforcement today is because of these damn ridiculous laws. Look, I also understand that law enforcement does have a lot of leverage and ability to kind of pick and choose what they're doing, where they're going, where they can write a warning, give a warning, or pull someone out of the car and all of that. But you have to understand that it's Republicans and Democrats writing law after law after law that end up, I think, creating more friction between law enforcement and the public. And look, I understand the concepts of things like I'm going to pull that person over for a broken taillight. Even that, I think, and this is where I start to get a little hardcore libertarian, is like, come on, really? I mean, is it enough of a danger that you need to put two people in contact with each other? And you know what happens from there, just like Ian was saying. But again, an expired tag, really? Really? I mean, shouldn't that just be like, well, you didn't pay here's your little fine for not paying that. It'll just get mailed to you. And so I think, unfortunately, that it's the lawmakers who absolutely have a ton to do with creating the friction between the public and law enforcement today. Nobody likes to get pulled over for a speeding ticket. But look, you're speeding, and you can make the case that you're a danger on the road to others, especially in a school zone. Understandable. I get all that. But there's certainly a whole lot of other areas that I'm sorry. And it's not even necessarily the libertarian streak in me. It's, again, to go back to the cultural aspects and the fallout from all of this. You're being pulled over. Why? You're not wearing a seatbelt. Really? You're being pulled over. Why? It looked like you may have been, possibly, maybe, on your phone.
Oh, and then, by the way, we need ID from everybody in the car, which, by the way, no one in the car has to give except the driver.
Your registration. Now we find this is...
But that's what they want. They want to run those names and look for warrants. I mean, that's the bottom line.
I think that it ends up creating more friction that is unnecessary with law enforcement today. I have so screwed up and gone so deep into the six. Thank you for shrugging that off. When we come back...
Well, I'm partially responsible, so we'll deal
when we
with
come back, though, the numbers right now, I always say that New York City is a great microcosm of certain things in the United States. California at times can be too, but listen to this. This is what we're going to come back to. 5,300 NYPD uniformed officers retired or put their papers to leave in 2020. Guess how much of a spike that is from the year before? I'll let you sit on that. It's enormous. There's your hand. We'll be right back. This is The Drive.
This is 92.5 Fox News.
Things were much harder, like starting an outboard motor. Come on. Or even treating sleep apnea. If you've tried CPAP but struggle to get a good night's sleep, relief can be as easy as a button with Inspire.
Inspire is a sleep apnea treatment that works inside your body with just the click of a remote. No mask, no hose, just sleep. To learn more, visit InspireSleep.com. Inspire, sleep apnea innovation. Inspire is not for everyone. Talk to your doctor to see if it's right for you and review important safety information at InspireSleep.com.
Smart homeowners know that proper maintenance of their home's AC can save a bundle in the long run. Trust our comfort specialists at 1 Hour Air Conditioning and Heating to keep your AC running strong. A proactive tune-up can actually help your AC run more efficiently and save you money on your electric bill. Call 855-1HOUR or visit onehourair.com.
Always on time or you don't pay it time. Always on time or you don't pay it time.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in their respective state or county.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-269-3394. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-269-3394. 800-269-3394. 800-269-3394.
I trust Rock Solid.
I trust Rock Solid.
I trust Rock Solid.
I'm an interior designer and I trust Rock Solid.
If you're looking for just the right countertops for your home, the choice is simple. Rock Solid.
I'm a contractor and I trust Rock Solid.
I trust Rock Solid.
I trust Rock Solid.
See why homeowners and contractors choose Rock Solid for the finest countertops. Now with our newly expanded showroom, making your home improvement experience even better.
Rock Solid in the Pink Building, 2240 JNC Boulevard, Naples. Rock Solid. We don't stop at just countertops.
Trey Radel, your host of The Drive here. In studio with us, Dr. Michael P. Varveris. You can find Dr. Varveris online at mddocv.com. Talk to us a little bit, well, like Salt and Pepper sang, let's talk about sex, baby. But specifically, Dr. Varveris, talk to us about what you do for men and hormones.
Well, first off, hormones move around in the blood, but they work in the tissues. So what really matters is the tissue level and not the blood level. Now, when you're taking testosterone, whether it's a tablet or an injection or a cream or a pellet, the blood level is pretty much worthless. Most doctors don't understand this, and patients end up getting horribly overdosed. When patients overdose, the extra testosterone is converted to estrogen. Estrogen levels increase. Also, quite often, the red blood cell count increases. Doctors commonly will add a drug to block the estrogen or recommend phlebotomies to remove the excess blood. So if you're a man on testosterone and your doctor is measuring blood levels or putting you on a drug to block estrogen or recommending phlebotomies, you really do need to see me.
Visit him online today, mddocv.com. Again, that's mddocv.com.
She's been shopping for months to make sure that when she walks, people are always looking at her feet. Italian, classic, modern, she had to find the perfect look. And when her friends come and visit, their gaze always goes down to admire her floors.
Get your floors noticed. GC Flooring Boutique for indoor and outdoor living. View GC Flooring's extensive stone, mosaic, vinyl, wood, and tile. Your Legno Bastogne Gallery on JNC Boulevard. GCFlooringofNaples.com.
You find yourself searching for a reputable air conditioning company?
Don't sweat. Call Brett.
I'm Crystal Casey with Brett Air Conditioning. For over 45 years, our motto has been, don't sweat, call Brett. We are a family-owned business with a great reputation. Whether your AC needs maintained, serviced, or replaced, we are here to serve you. So stop searching and join the Brett Air family today. You can find us online at brettairconditioning.com or call us at 239-566-3633. 239-566-3633.
If you don't love your AC company, call Brett Air right now. Find them online at brettairconditioning.com or like them on Facebook.
Don't sweat. Call Brett.
License number CAC 1819995.
Trey Radel is on 92.5 Fox News.
Let's get to a call here on 92.5 Fox News. Let's go to Tom in Estero on policing. What's up, Tom?
Well, I think you've missed a couple of points, Trey. An expired tag could lead to a stolen car very easily because they can't go down and renew the tag and get a new plate. And there's, a couple of years ago, there was a young lady that was kidnapped, and the police drove right by the car because they couldn't stop for a minor traffic offense.
When was
and
this?
Was,
Who was this?
It was like 6-7 years ago.
You're talking about the woman out of Charlotte County, because that's just wrong. That's wrong. If you're talking about the woman who was abducted out of Charlotte County, there was 911 was called that she was in the back, clearly distressed, and they didn't react to it. It was, I believe, Northport Police ended up apologizing for that.
Okay. But again, going back, that you see a traffic
So we should
infraction.
pull over cars because they could possibly be stolen. Like, don't you see, though, like, what I was trying to get at, Tom, in the bigger picture here is what I would call unnecessary friction between law enforcement and the public. And I'm saddened at the way that I think many people in the United States today are more emboldened than ever to resist arrest, to do whatever they can, to act violently towards cops without carrying any responsibility or repercussions whatsoever. On the flip side, though, I understand that I think, first of all, there's good reason to limit contact between police officers, law enforcement in general, and people just driving on the road. In fact, like, I'd want to know statistically, of every car pulled over with an expired tag, how many lead to a stolen car? Neither you or I know, but I guarantee you that it's in the single percentile. Like, it's way, way low. So then, does the ends justify the means? And I'm sorry, it doesn't. It creates more friction between me just trying to get my ass to work or go pick up my kid. I'm busy enough with all the other crap I got to do in life, but now my dumb ass, yes, it's a mistake, I made a mistake, forgot to just go and get this thing renewed. Do I really need to take 30 minutes of my time to have law enforcement pull me over? Give me this paper, give me that paper, let me go run this, let me go run that. Whereas it's an infraction that literally literally means nothing to anyone at all. There's no danger on the road when they could simply utilize technology, take a picture, mail you a ticket, done, over, you pay your fine. Like, does any of that make sense?
Well, the beginning part, I do agree with you about the disrespect for law enforcement.
But nothing
the ending,
else.
Though, well, the ending, I disagree with you because if you're going to mail them a ticket, well, they already got a registration renewal in the mail, and they didn't take care of that. What makes you think they're going to take care of the ticket?
So what should we do then? What do you think, Tom?
Well, that's my next question for you. Where do you draw the line of what laws you enforce? There are laws that were passed by the state legislators and that are to be enforced by the police departments that are out there. And policemen just don't draw the line and say, well, I'm not going to arrest that car for tinted windows, or I'm not going to arrest that guy for weaving all over the road because maybe he's texting. Well, where do you draw the line?
Law enforcement does that every single day. Contrary to what you just said, every single day, law enforcement makes a decision on one, whether or not they're going to pull someone over, or two, whether or not they're going to issue a ticket. Now, you just used two examples that might be a little bit more on the more dangerous side, but they use discretion every day.
They do. They make the decision whether to issue the ticket or not. How are the people of the state of Florida best served by their action that day and that time? And maybe a simple warning or even a traffic ticket warning to the person who is violating the law. But they make the decision to stop that person. They don't make the decision, well, I'm not going to enforce those laws today. I mean, that's not the way it works. They have to make a conscious
What other
decision.
types of suspicions do you think that people should be pulled over? So again, this is what we're specifically talking about here. If you're just joining us, Tom is calling in, and I'm making the argument that I do not think that law enforcement should be pulling people over for an expired plate. I think that it is something that is so mundane. Number one, I think that law enforcement is there for some semblance of safety on the roads. And I'm sorry, but an expired tag has nothing to do with public safety in any way, shape, or form. Weaving, this and that. It's all about money. I know, I get that. That's what Ian is saying through the glass. But I also am looking at the bigger picture here of our deteriorating relationship with law enforcement and the public in general. And this cuts across generational, ethnic, and cultural lines, white, black, brown, whatever. And I'm just saying that, like, tasking law enforcement to pull you over when 99% of the people are not in a stolen car, all it does, Tom, is exacerbate the existing fuel on the fire that just pisses people off. Like, it's just bad. I mean, do you enjoy getting pulled over?
I've been pulled over, and I'll say this. I don't see white people, Caucasian Americans rioting in the streets when a Caucasian American is shot and killed by a policeman, and it happens.
Okay, so of course, here we go with the white people don't do it. What a blanket racist ass statement. Just stop for a second. Tell me, what's the racial makeup of all of those kids in Portland right now? They're little honkies. They're white kids who are rioting and burning places down because white people do it too. What's that even have to do with anything? Get off my phone, jerk off. I mean, come on. I want you to hear this out for a second. This is what just makes me irate. Here I am talking about a way, in a very, I think, previous to what I just said, tactful manner. I think it's terrible the way that law enforcement is being treated in the United States today. Listen to this bull crap from last night at the Oscars.
Today, the police will kill 3 people. And tomorrow, the police will kill 3 people.
That goes on and on. What I'm saying here is that I believe that just one tiny, tiny little way that we can begin to patch up in the smallest, dumbest, I get it, it's such a mundane example, way of preventing law enforcement and public of just not liking each other at all, is to cut down where we can on interactions that require somebody who is, and let me be clear about this, more than likely on their way to work, on their way to drop their kids off to school, on their way to an appointment, I don't know, maybe on their way to the beach. They're getting pulled over for something that is not a danger to anyone at all, I think only adds fuel to the fire of the deteriorating relationship that we have right now between the public and law enforcement. I hate that. I hate the fact that you see this crap of a state lawmaker in Michigan who had to resist arrest and tell those cops to go call the governor, and that I run y'all's budget, bro. What a load of crap. He is the unfortunate example of, I think, that what's going on around the United States. That, again, cuts across cultural, generational, ethnic lines right now. Cops are hated in many of our large cities, and that sucks. Because especially in those large cities, I am not discounting anyone listening right now that is with PD, especially Fort Myers, or any SO. Many of you, though, left NYPD and came to Collier County, came to Lee County. Many of you left Chicago PD to come here because it's crazy. It's insane. You're risking your life every day. You are here too. I get that. But I bring this up because in our cities right now, you know what cops are being treated like that is just as horrific as it was in the 1960s? Veterans coming home from Vietnam. There's a blanket sort of opinion that you're all terrible, that you're all civilian killers, that you're all racist and just want to kill black people. It's unfair. It's, by the way, in its own way, racist and classist and all of that. And again, all I was getting to before that guy started going off on white people don't do this, white people. It has nothing to do with white people or black people. What I'm talking about is that the more that you have, the more interaction that you have when you have somebody pulling someone over when they're, again, on their way to work with their kids, you know, all this does is just add fuel to the fire of an existing deteriorating relationship. You know, look, I have expressed my admiration for law enforcement and respect for law enforcement. When I get pulled over, last time I was pulled over actually was, what was going on in the Cape? Was it maybe post-hurricane? I think it was after a hurricane came through, and I totally didn't even recognize it. Neither my wife was in the car, my son was in the car, and we went through traffic signals. I mean, of course I was slowing down, but I guess I didn't come to a full stop, but there were no lights because the hurricane had just ripped through. We went to go check on her parents, make sure everything was okay, and I got pulled over. Of course, I got no ill will toward the law enforcement officer at all. There is no question, though, like if I would have been on the way to work, or if the law enforcement officer was, any given situation, you know that you can get annoyed. And I understand it's so tiny what I'm talking about. But I do believe that whether I'm talking about Senator Tim Scott out of South Carolina, the black Republican, to even some Democrats that have talked about police reforms, it's these little types of things that I think can help restore relationships. And I will wrap up with this. I was just looking at stats in New York and Los Angeles and San Francisco. I don't have Chicago. Chicago's always been way more secretive, by the way, than the other two cities, than the other, specifically LA and New York. But when you look at stop and frisk, or you look at people who have been pulled over for an expired tag, let me tell you something that's probably not going to shock you. What do you think the stats are of people who are, quotes here, randomly pulled over for an expired tag, or they're pulled over for an expired tag, but others aren't? What do you think the racial makeup is? And it's 75% are black. That stat does not bear out in terms of the racial makeup of anywhere, even in California. And in New York with stop and frisk, it was like, again, in that 75% mark, 3 out of 4 were either Hispanic or black, were the only people that were targeted. Again, I absolutely understand the rationale for stop and frisk in New York City, especially when you're talking about Rudy Giuliani, who introduced it. New York was a lot like it is now, quite frankly. So I get the rationale on that. But again, I want you to think about, if you're a white person, just imagine. Just imagine if it was you. You're the person walking down the sidewalk in downtown Fort Myers. You're the only person being targeted, stop and frisk. You're driving along Golden Gate Parkway or along 41 in Charlotte, Collier or Lee, and you keep getting pulled over consistently. Expired tag, taillight out. Oh, no, sorry, wasn't out. You think that maybe you'd start to have a little bit of again, at minimum here, be a little annoyed, and that's a gentle way for me to put it. We got to take a break. Be right back. This is The Drive.
Is 92.5 Fox News.
Steele, you know the real estate market's really hot right now, but for how long? Well, nobody really knows. If people don't catch up on their mortgage payments because of COVID, the market's going to get flooded with foreclosure inventory, and that's scary because your home's value could plummet. So if you thought about selling your home for a premium price, now's the time to do it. But you don't want to make any costly mistakes. That's why you need to get with Anthony Gomes from GomesMovesHomes.com. See, he's been buying, selling, brokering, and investing in real estate for over 20 years. Mistakes in real estate can cost you tens of thousands of dollars. Anthony wrote a book on how to sell homes, your home, and for the most money. And he wants to ship it to you for free. Just go to GomesMovesHomes.com and tell him where you want to send it. Inside, you'll gain 20 years of secrets from wealthy home sellers on how you can sell for a premium price without doing repairs, letting strangers go through your home, and you could pick the closing date. Go to GomesMovesHomes.com. Again, GomesMovesHomes.com.
Dial star 2020. Friends, I care.
Trey Radio, your host of The Drive here. Stop waking up and not being able to see the alarm clock. Stop messing around with contacts and glasses. Go see Dr. Jonathan Franz and his team today. They are experts at designing the right solution for you with the latest technology. I had my LASIK procedure done with them. It changed my life. So whether it's LASIK or the SMILE procedure, which is like LASIK but with a smaller incision, virtually no dry eye syndrome at all, maybe even Visian ICL, it's a replaceable lens and a reversible procedure, which gives you the peace of mind that you're looking for. France Eye Care offers it all. Right now, through the end of Memorial Day week, France Eye Care is offering all veterans, active and retired, $1,000 off the laser vision correction procedure right for your eyes. Don't compromise. Give France Eye Care a call today. Dial star 2020 on your mobile phone.
France Eye Care.
Serving Southwest Florida since 1977. To learn more and schedule an appointment, visit firstclassairconditioning.com.
First Class Air Conditioning. Our name says it all.
If you're looking forward to a true deep spring cleaning, this is the year, because spring cleanings are as mental as they are physical. That being the case, maybe it's time to call the master designers at Closet Factory. In a blink, you have more than a cleaner space. You'll have a spotless new space freshened by intelligent, organized construction that'll be and stay cleaner than your old space, by design. Call us or visit closetfactory.com. More spring and clean in your spring clean. That's how we build it.
The Diamond District has the largest selection of GIA certified diamonds at the most competitive prices in the world. Jason and Todd have partnered with De Beers in Canada and Africa, and they've traveled to Israel, Antwerp, and India to select the most beautiful diamonds. Visit the Diamond District today for your best diamond buying experience.
When the expected comes calling, bounce forward with Comcast Business, the network that can divide gig speeds to the most businesses, and bounce forward with the flexibility to update your bandwidth in just a few clicks. Be fast, be flexible, be ready for what's next. Go to ComcastBusiness.com to learn more.
Before buttons, things were much harder, like starting an outboard motor. Come on. Or even treating sleep apnea. If you've tried CPAP but struggle to get a good night's sleep, relief can be as easy as a button with Inspire.
Inspire is a sleep apnea treatment that works inside your body with just the click of a remote. No mask, no hose, just sleep. To learn more, visit inspiresleep.com. Inspire, sleep apnea innovation. Inspire is not for everyone. Talk to your doctor to see if it's right for you and review important safety information at inspiresleep.com.
Trey Radio is on 92.5 Fox News.
$6:35 here on 92.5 Fox News. Trey Radio, your host of The Drive. More than 5,300 NYPD uniformed officers retired or put their papers to leave just last year. That is a pretty large spike from the year before, 75% spike. That's insane. I bring up this New York statistic because it is something that's being reflected in our cities across the United States, that law enforcement, especially the men and women that you want there, that you want working the streets, those that can afford to retire now, those with seniority, they're the ones leaving. So now what do you have? You got the younger crew, which comes in either a little amped up or even nervous. And again, these are understandable things that happen, whether you're in the military or law enforcement. And so this is a trend that's happening across the United States because you have morons, even at the Oscars, who do stuff like this. Cut to. I don't know why these buttons
Today,
are working.
the police will kill 3 people. And tomorrow, the police will kill 3 people. And the day after that, the police will kill 3 people because, on average, the police in America every day kill 3 people, which amounts to about 1,000 people a year.
All right, so there you have it. I mean, we're not worried about the lives that they're saving. It's just who they kill. They kill a bunch of people. There's going to be a price to pay for all of this. And it's going to be in every major city in the United States. It's part of the reason some of those people are leaving those places and coming here to Florida, going to Texas, moving in suburbs, getting out of the cities.
And I hope when they pack that U-Haul that they leave the politics behind.
Leave your vote behind. New York City is already in a massive decay like it was when Rudy Giuliani came in as a Republican mayor in a very liberal city. I don't politically, maybe we'll talk about that some other day. There are a few people running for mayor of New York that, I don't know, maybe some Republicans have a shot. It's still different from the 90s, even as terrible as it is. But I'd ask you, what's happening to our cities? You've got Lori Lightfoot, the mayor of Chicago, who has said, by the way, that if you want to chase someone on foot, okay, if law enforcement wants to pursue a violent suspect, they have to call and get permission.
I wonder if they can start chasing while they're waiting for that permission, or do they have to wait on the pursuit till they get the permission because it's pretty cold by then?
Let me ask, and again, this is not to slight law enforcement. It's just to set up what's probably a semi-real world example of like, I'm going to call in, the suspect just bolted. Suspect just beat the crap out of a homeowner, stole a bunch of his cash and is running right now. Oh, hold on. I need to make a call to see if we can get permission to chase the suspect on foot.
And you'll need to brief your supervisor what's going on so he can make a good decision.
Fill out some paper. Go to your car and type into the computer there, fill out some paperwork about what you're going to need as the suspect is now half a mile away.
Home in bed.
Yeah, home in bed, having a beer. Smoke if you got him.
Foot pursuits happen in like 93 seconds. It's over. You either catch him or he's gone. Yeah. It doesn't go on very long.
Or it's something that goes on really long, some that I've covered. Again, this one in Collier County. Actually, this is something that's happened in Florida a few times, where suspect hops into a lake, and I swear to God, the gator gets him. I've covered that story. Or I guess FLIR, the forward-looking infrared. I don't know. I guess it has a difficult time with the water. Sometimes they've gone into the water, but when they pop their head back up, they get caught there. And then, those are the ones that last for a while when you've got the helicopter up. But what I'm getting at is how nonsensical this is. But when you hear that guy from the Oscars talk about police are going to kill people today and then tomorrow, never forget the amount of sheeple idiots out there that are listening to this and just thinking, yes, police are killing people in masses. And that's all they do. They are paid to go kill people. And that narrative is happening right now still out of Columbus, where a 16-year-old almost murdered another girl. And the story is not how the cop saved a life. It's how he killed the suspect who was wielding the knife about to kill the other girl, but you wouldn't know any of those details that I just brought up. It is horrifying the way that this narrative is being just absolutely promoted and pushed by the media, by the mainstream media, and by activists and the Democratic Party itself today. And so you look at these cities that are losing law enforcement left and right. What happens? And the answer is, it only gets worse. It only gets worse. I would be curious. I'm curious to see, like, over the next year or two, like, where this goes. It's pretty scary to think about. I mean, I still have family in Chicago. People in places like New York. Somebody's got some friends somewhere. And this is not good. I don't know. Maybe here's silver lining. I wonder if some of those seasoned veterans end up coming here. I'd be curious, actually, if there's law enforcement listening right now, if you've seen an influx of people who have left places like even just New York State in general, Illinois, or Chicago.
The sheriff was in to do one of our weekend shows about 2 weeks ago, and he told me that they're actually not having any problem getting manpower down here right now because there's a lot of people coming down, and Florida is eased up on reciprocity a little bit. So it's actually good for us that this is happening, I guess, and maybe the shortage isn't down here like it is in other places. Yeah,
I would bet that's the case. I mean, we know that people are moving here by the loads, by some thousand something or whatever a day, and I bet that we are getting law enforcement. that again, we're talking some of them, seasoned veterans who move here, and it must be a way better gig.
The weather's better.
You think? Yeah.
Unless you're on day shift in July with that vest on, then you might question that decision every now and then. But
God, I remember
gets pretty hot.
Being
man. Yeah.
I would complain about wearing a suit outside as a reporter, and there they are wearing Kevlar.
Try dark green polyester.
Yeah.
Wrapped over the top of body armor.
Yep.
Over the top of a T-shirt.
By the way, what is up with why the uniforms don't seem that practical, like that polyester? Why? I know that some will wear shorts, but I don't know. Can't they find something better than that than looking like they're dressed ready to invade Poland?
Well, I'm a traditionalist. I don't think they should be dressing like SWAT people at all on duty every day.
I'm not talking about SWAT
I'm
people.
talking about the uniforms. I like the traditional police uniform. I like that.
It just doesn't seem
But
practical.
do we have to make it out of polyester? I mean, at the fire department, they made ours out of cotton so they didn't melt all over our skin when we went into fires. And I don't know why they can't. I'm sure why can't we find a better material? That's all I'm saying.
It just looks hot as hell.
It does. It does.
But when wearing that
I don't like the dress down uniforms. The golf shirts with the shorts and all this. Cops shouldn't dress like they're on vacation. Next thing you know, they'll be out there in flip-flops chasing people around the beach.
Nobody's going to be wearing flip-flops.
I'm sorry, but they should be in a uniform with a badge and a name tag and collar brass just like they've been for 50 years.
So I would actually ask you, I would say, number one, practicality. I'm always about practicality. If you're in some form of a uniform, it should be whatever you can perform best in. That means running. That means pulling somebody out of a burning building, whatever.
But there's a second element that's just as important here, and that's how you're perceived by the people you serve.
I get that. Now, let me ask you this, though. As we've been talking about improving relations between the public and law enforcement, who do you think you're going to be chummier with? Somebody that wants to talk with you that's in shorts and some a little more casual, like, hey, I just want to talk about you about this and that, or somebody who comes in looking like it's World War II?
And let me take it one step further. Who's going to be easier to de-escalate a situation?
That's a great point.
Someone that's dressed like they just got back from Afghanistan, or someone that's dressed in a regular uniform, just looks like a regular police officer?
But hold on, though. I don't think you're hearing me. Sorry. I'm not talking about SWAT. I'm not talking about gearing up you've got Kevlar, you got a friggin' what do they call the Kiefer thing, the
The carrier that go with all the stuff on it.
That, but also,
Yeah.
I mean, the scarf thing, like you've just come out of Afghanistan.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just talking about the difference between a normal uniform, the white with the thing and the green pants or whatever, versus somebody in shorts and a golf shirt. And in Naples, I remember, look, this is going way back, but I believe that anybody in NPD listening right now, I think that the bicycle cops, the police officers on bicycles do a police in shorts and like a golf shirt. I mean, they, obviously
That's
have all
a
their
specialty
equipment.
unit. They would need a special, different uniform.
But all I'm saying is that if who's more approachable and likable that you will talk to and have a better relationship with, I think that's one thing. But I also absolutely see your point in terms of de-escalating. If you're in a more serious get-up and you look a little intimidating, that might be better to serve in terms of saying, hey, everybody, now's the time to comply before somebody gets hurt.
We need to strike a balance between the SWAT guy and officer friendly.
Yeah.
And that's where we need to be, somewhere in between. And I don't like the shorts. I just don't like unless they're the bike unit or something.
I wonder, though, if there's any kind of psychological study on like what we're talking about. Like, what if like NYPD was like, you know what? We're just going to go out in T-shirts and flip-flops. Actually, I think everything would descend even more hell and chaos. All right, we're going to take a break.
No, the flip-flops would be good because that put them back on an even keel with the guys that have their pants falling down when they're chasing them.
When we come back, Floridians, you listening right now, unless you're streaming us from somewhere else in the world, if rocket debris falls in your yard and you don't do something about it, you could get busted. Let's talk about the potential of over-criminalizing the Floridian population. When we come back, we'll talk about this. This is a law that was passed by our Florida Senate. They're in a hurry right now to pass everything in the last week of session. And if something from SpaceX or NASA falls into your yard, the crazy part is that it's very typical. There are already laws for all of that. But now the legislature is saying to you, if you even think that might be from space, if you don't call police, you're in serious trouble. We'll be right back. This is The Drive.
This is 92.5 Fox
This
News.
is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-269-3394. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-269-3394. 800-269-3394. 800-269-3394.
She's been shopping for months to make sure that when she walks, people are always looking at her feet. Italian, classic, modern, she had to find the perfect look. And when her friends come and visit, their gaze always goes down to admire her floors.
Get your floors noticed. GC Flooring Boutique for indoor and outdoor living. View GC Flooring's extensive stone, mosaic, vinyl, wood, and tile. Your Legno Bastone Gallery on JNC Boulevard. GCFlooringofNaples.com.
I'm Harvey Massey. Think about this for a moment. Pest control involves applying pesticides inside your home, whether needed or not. At Massey Services, we just don't do that. We prevent pests from getting inside your home so we won't have to control them later. Why settle for pest control when you can trust Massey's pest prevention? It's guaranteed or your money back. Massey Services. Expect more and get it.
Hey, Aaron Walker here from Naples Nissan with some good news from the factory. We've just been authorized to add all brands to the list of vehicles eligible for our trade-in offer. Yep, literally all brands qualify now. So if your 9-year-old Beamer just hit 100,000 miles, don't cry. Stop paying for expensive repairs and premium gas for that old gas-guzzling luxury brand you're driving. As long as it's a 2012 or newer with less than 120,000 miles on it, bring it to Naples Nissan to get the full original base MSRP for it so you can drive home in a brand new, fuel-efficient Nissan today. Whatever your trade-in was worth when it was brand new, even if you didn't buy it new, regardless of where you bought it from, and regardless of what brand it is, that's what we'll give you for it. Get full details at naplesnissan.com. Offers on select models with approved credit and cannot be combined.
Hi, doctor.
So how are you feeling?
With Millennium Physician Group's telehealth service, MPG Connect, be seen by your Millennium healthcare provider in the comfort of your home from your computer, smartphone, or tablet.
So good to see you.
Call your Millennium doctor's office or 844-CALL-MPG to request a virtual visit with the care team who knows you best.
I'll talk to you soon.
Millennium's telehealth service, MPG Connect. Your doctor, your device, your connection to a healthier life.
These grapes are great. Hey, grocery guy, are these fresh?
You should know. You've eaten enough of them.
I always sample the grapes.
You've practically eaten a whole bag, sir.
So what are you going to do about it, grocery guy?
Watch your head while getting in the squad car, sir.
Well, officer, I thought the grapes were free.
At Rock Solid, your sink is free, along with free bathroom countertop materials. Just pay for installation when you get kitchen countertops.
Grapes aren't free, but bathroom countertop materials are at Rock Solid.
JNC Boulevard, Naples, rocksolidnaples.com or 596-7676. Rock Solid, where you always get more.
Trey Radel is on 92.5 Fox News.
Report and turn over space debris or else. We might even have to do this tomorrow, too. We're a little short on time here. A bill that is headed to Governor Ron DeSantis' desk. We would become the first state to require people to report missing spacecraft parts to police immediately. It's crazy, though, because the way that this whole thing is phrased is that Floridians would face charges for not turning over parts of whatever, rockets, man-made space debris or whatever that washes up on the shore onto a beach that's near your home or falls directly into your yard. And what the crazy part is the way that the language is, they use words like reasonably. If you find an object that reasonably looks like a space part on your lawn and you don't report it, you could get a first-degree misdemeanor. That's the most serious misdemeanor, and a $1,000 fine plus restitution to the owner of the part. Think about that for a second, how much money you're dealing with there. Piece of SpaceX that's an inch by an inch could be valued at $1 million or more. Look, that's one thing. First of all, laws already exist if somebody else's property goes onto your yard. Whether you're talking about a car accident and a cell phone flies out of a car and goes on to your lawn, there are already laws that exist that say it's clearly somebody else's property. You just don't get it because it comes onto your yard. But this is bizarre. What this is it's a symbolic move. Okay, because again, these laws exist, but what happens is that SpaceX lobbyists, now look, I love Elon Musk as much as you do and what they're doing, but lobbyists do their thing. They lobbied the hell out of the state legislature to do this. And here it is, quoted in the paper. SpaceX lobbyist Jeff Sharkey, his last name's Sharkey, by the way. Pretty appropriate for a lobbyist. Told a House committee that the company feared that they might lose intellectual property to China. Again, there are already laws for this if something's coming onto your yard. And he says the bill is very, very important. It's extremely important. And he went on to cite how people took pieces of the Challenger after it blew up, either from the beaches and elsewhere. Others took pieces of the Columbia disaster. And again, showing you that there are laws already exist. An Ohio man pleaded guilty to theft of government property. But again, it does apply to private as well if it's flying over your home. For trying to sell a piece of the Space Shuttle Challenger 14 years after it exploded off the coast. Here's the craziest part, and I got to wrap up in a little bit on this, is that it actually, this is so nuts. You're required to call the cops right away. And then the police have to make this reasonable effort to identify the owner and promptly notify them. So, by the way, what I'm saying is that this gives specific instructions to law enforcement as well. Law enforcement, now you are tasked with, do I got to give Elon a call? But here's the craziest part. The bill allows the owner to enter private property to recover the part if police believe that those dangerous circumstances exist, whether the part presents an immediate danger to public safety or there's a danger the part will be damaged or destroyed. The bill allows the owner of that property, Elon Musk, I mean, I get it. We're talking about other various corporations as well, to enter private property. There's got to be a lawsuit on something as ridiculous as this. Like, this is one of these types of laws that, and let me be clear about this too, in terms of politicking and why they do this. This will probably maybe never be enforced until it needs to be. And they want this there for when it does. And it's going to, I don't know what's going to happen, but it's one of these types of things that all of these laws already exist. It's just the state threatening you, even though everything's already there. But to put within the bill that a corporation or agents of the corporation have automatic permission to enter your property to retrieve what they believe you have, I think is a really dangerous precedent to set. Just bizarre. We'll see if Governor DeSantis signs it. It's not something that's going to make many big, sexy headlines, but I think it's just, once again, yet another reason of the degradation between the American people and the government, or those who work for the state. We'll be back tomorrow. Not in a few minutes. Back tomorrow. Bye now. That was The Drive.
92.5 Fox News.